My name is Kukoyo Emmanuel. I'm a 400 level computer science student at Ignition University. This morning we'll be having an online video tutorial on the software development process. So, to have a well-developed software, very detailed software development process, and these processes are what I'll be explaining in details to you. First stage is the planning phase. This process begins with project planning, where stakeholders define the software goals, the software constraints, the software purposes, and the scope of the software. And in this that are required, first is the requirement and gathering, whereby the stakeholders meet together with other people to identify, document user needs, expectations, and functional. Two is the project scheduling. In this stage, activities required there is to develop timelines, allocate resources, and create a budget. Then we have the risk analysis, identify the potential risks, and plan mitigation strategies. In this stage, what they do is to identify possible risks that might occur in the process of the development the work towards mitigating the outcome. Once these 4 activities have been achieved in this plan, a well-defined project plan and a clear understanding of what the software should accomplish. Then move on to the next one, which is the requirement phase. In the requirement analysis, in this understanding and documenting the detailed user requirement, and that is also there are some activities that are meant to be which are one, the user interviews. This conduct interviews with stakeholders to gather in-depth requirements around the use cases it will to depict system functionality. And once these 2 activities have been accomplished, the outcome is a comprehensive and well-documented user requirements. And we move on to the next stage, which is the design phase. This involves creating the architectural and structural blueprint for the software. This can be done by the UI and UX designer using Adobe XD or the Figma, whereby they design the architectural and structural blueprints of the design of the software design. And the activities required there are 1, architectural design. It defines the overall system structure, including the components and interactions, how each widget in the software development. Component design specify individual software component modules and their interfaces. And last, design, develop database schema and data models. Once these activities have been accomplished, the main outcome of this stage of the design phase is to have a detailed design specifications and system architecture. Then move on to the next stage, which is the implementation, referred to as the coding. In this phase, developers write their actual codes based on the design specifications, using various types of programming languages such as Java, JavaScript, Python, but the activities required here are 1, coding. You write a code in a choosing programming language, just as I listed some programming languages earlier, adhering to the coding standards. 2 is the unit testing, function correctly. And the third one is the version control. Use version control systems to manage code changes. Version control system is used whereby you have started the project already and you need to modify some changes. Instead of starting again from the beginning, you can use the version control to manage your code changes and continue from where you stopped. Once these activities have been achieved, the main outcome of the implementation stage is a working software component and modules. So we move on to the next phase, which is the testing phase. Testing phase is a very critical phase to identify and eliminate defects to ensure the software meets quality standards. That's the testing phase, and the activities involved are one, testing. The activities involved are one, unit testing is confirm that each module functions correctly in isolation testing, verify that modules work together as intended. We have the system testing, which validates the entire system against the requirements. Then we have the user acceptance testing, involves users to ensure that the software meets their needs. User acceptance testing, once the software has been developed successfully, the users have to test to make sure that it meets their needs and the purpose why the software is being developed. Take for instance, OPay. OPay is developed for easy access of mobile money transfer from OPay user to an OPay user and other bank users. So if the user is unable to send money from his OPay account to another bank user that is not an OPay user, that means it has not met the needs and purpose of this software. So that's why the user acceptance testing is necessary. And the outcome of this fully tested and quality assured software system. Next stage, which is the development, the software for production use. After the software has been developed, it has gone to the first 5 stages and it has gone to the testing stages. Also, now it is meant to be deployed for people to be used. Once it has been successfully tested, it is meant to be used for their purposes. The activities involved in this are required in this process are one, installation. You install the software on your target systems. It's a Microsoft application. You install it on your system and make sure it has the system requirements. Then 2, the system testing. And then 2, configuration. This set up the software based on users' preferences and needs. You notice some software they ask you, are you installing 64-bit or 32-bit? So that's one of the configuration we're talking about here. Then the training, provide user training and documentation. Whenever you buy a new software, there is a documentation whereby you can go through for easy access to install such softwares and so on and so forth. Then the outcome of this is the software is live and in use by end users. Now we'll move on to the next phase, which is the maintenance and support. Software maintenance is an ongoing process of updates, bug fixes, and support. This is done after when the software has been developed and has been used by the end users. So the activities done here are the bug tracking and fixing. You identify and resolve software issues, whereby people make their comments once they download your software. They make their comments on the bugs, the issues they have while using the application or the software. So the react to the every bug or problems associated with the software. Then we have the updates and enhancement, add new features and improvements. You just have to be update and being invoked to have people using your application or software. So there has to be a back-to-back update and enhancement. And customer support provide assistance to users whenever people are faced with challenges while using the software or the application. There has to be a customer care support that will put people through and assist them in whatever issues they have with the software applications. And the outcome of this is a well-maintained and evolving software system. Then lastly, challenges and best practices. These challenges such as changing requirements, resource constraints, and communication issues. So therefore, there has to be a team that deals with the challenges and best practices. End of this tutorial for software development processes. If you have any questions or additional information that could be useful to this course or to this video, you can drop your comments after you've watched. Thank you.